In this tutorial, I'll be guiding you guys on how to create a gig on the theme Photoshop on Fiverr. Alright guys, let's get started. So firstly, on the top right corner on Fiverr, so firstly open fiverr.com and on the top right corner, click on your profile and then go over to profile. Now, before just creating the gig, I want to discuss about Photoshop. So, well, Photoshop is a paid application where you can edit images. It's mainly for images. Any photo image, so maybe you're creating a banner, you're creating a post, you're creating a logo, any type of that kind of stuff. And the services that mostly of around the field of Photoshop are basically cropping, retouching images, increasing resolution, um, that kind of stuff, background removal, and all that related stuff. So when you're on the page, here where you can see your active gigs and your other all types of gigs, go over to the draft section and you can have an option to create a new gig. Click on it and you'll be redirected to another page. Now here you'll go through a six step-by-step process until you have your finished gig. So firstly, let's name our gig. To our gig title, I will Photoshop any image for you. That looks good. And then select the category. Well, of course, Photoshop directly goes under graphics and design, and then it goes under image editing. I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Select a service type. Um, I think I'll go for photo manipulation because, or yeah, photo manipulation because you're basically editing and redoing everything about the photo. Type, remove object. So maybe filter and effects, all that kind of stuff in Photoshop. Background change and retouching. I'll go for all these three. And the editing tool will be Photoshop. Add a Photoshop. And then the positive keywords, of course, Photoshop is one of them. Image editing, that's one. Um, what else can we have? Well, we have Photoshop, we have image editing, we can have crop, effects. Yep, let's have that much. Maximum is four. I mean, the maximum is five. I've done four. That's quite enough. And let's go over to the next page. Press save and continue. On this page, you have packages here. So under your gig, the three packages you'll have. If you don't want to have standard and premium, you can go ahead and click that option. And I'm going to be doing that for the sake of for the so the video is short and doesn't go too long. So in basic, of course, let's initially talk about what how would you actually even divide your Photoshop into three different offers. Well, you think about what are the three main things you can do in Photoshop. So you have something like photo retouching, you have photo effects, and then you might have photo restoration, right? So you can have these three different based on whichever one is the hardest of which one has the most difficulty. You can have that one in premium. The one with the medium difficulty have that in standard, and the easiest one have that in basic. And then you can have different prices for each, of course. The premium being the highest, and then standard they're in between, and basic the cheapest. And of course, you in the description right over here, you can describe whatever kind of stuff comes under that. So, and maybe, for example, I think in my opinion, I think photo restoration is probably the hardest. So in premium, um, you have that in premium, and then photo effects that comes in basic probably because it has all that common stuff like cropping, brightness, contrast. You're gonna have that all kind of stuff in description. So I'm just gonna go ahead and offer packages, and I'm gonna just go ahead with photo. I will add effects and do changes. Looks good. And then you can have I can crop, remove background, um, add background, and that'll be enough. You can describe it later even more. We'll get to that. The delivery time, the least you can choose is 1 day, and I think it should only take about 1 day for this basic stuff. The number of images, well, how many images are you editing? Are you editing two, three? Um, I was deciding on $10, making this $10, so I might just go for two pictures, or actually even three. Three looks good. And revisions, I'll just give three revisions. Source file, which give them the source file, it really doesn't matter. Of course, my picture will be higher resolution. And the price, I was planning on giving $10. Any extra services, extra fast delivery really doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and off that. Because you already have 1 day, so that's plenty of time. I don't think so you can decrease any more lesser than that. Additional image, okay, if they want to add an additional image, I'll add 5 and select 1 day. Could you add lower than 3? I wonder. We'll try that. Additional revisions, nope, no need for that. I already gave them plenty of revisions. And let's click that, save and continue. As I thought, you need 5. 5, and let's click save and continue. Now, the description part, I have already copied my description. And if you're planning on creating a more detailed description, you could always create that on your own based on whatever skills you possess. So maybe you won't have all the skills in Photoshop. You might not have the harder skills, and you might be going for the easier skills, all the basic stuff. So that's why you'll have to create a detailed version of your personal version of your description. Otherwise, you can also go to just ChatGPT, which is a new online AI tool allowing you to do anything you ask of it. So you can just ask it to create a detailed description of on Photoshop, basically, providing all the services it offers, and then you can edit out some of the services that you can't do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and be done with this. You can read it off if you want, there, and then scroll down and press save and continue. Now comes the question. Some questions you might want to ask the client when he's buying your service. So of course, pretty sure that this one's really important. You want to ask them what changes are needed to be done to the image. Make sure it's free text because you want them to be as descriptive as possible. Um, Add that. What else could you add? Maybe do you want to remove background, something like that? All right. So do you want oh yeah, what file format do you want the image in? What file format do you want the image in? And of course, you could either give it in free text, or you could also go ahead and give multiple choice and add all the file formats like PNG, JPG, what else you have, all that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead with free text. Maybe they want some personal thing, as personal file format that even I might not know about. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that. Well, you can also add any other two questions depending on what particular type of Photoshop services you offer. And yeah, I'll be going with these two, and then just go ahead and press save and continue. After that, you have your gig image part, the fifth step. Here you have three options. So your first option, of course, the first option is the only main option. The other two are optional. So the main option is your gallery gig image. So something that represents your gig. So you could, like I said before, if you don't haven't watched that video yet, then go ahead and watch it on how to create a gig image using Canva. Just search it up on the channel. It's a video about how you can create a gig image, where I use other Canva tools to make a nice looking gig image on a particular type of service. So of course you can go ahead and use any other type of service. In this case, like I said, it's Photoshop. So you could add some Photoshop logo, add a text, any Photoshop editing. I can edit your Photoshop. I can edit your Photoshop your picture, anything like that. Add on the picture, and you can post it here. I already have chose mine. I'm just gonna go ahead and download this, and I'm gonna post it. Enter, and it's going to drag it in from here, right there. While it loads, let's discuss video. Well, videos are just basically the same thing as gig images. Rather, these are just gig videos. Well, they're just basically more descriptive. So you have 75 seconds maximum, so or lesser than that. So you have 75 seconds of being more descriptive to your client. So even before clicking on to your gig and researching all the description you have given, they can already get most information by just looking at the video, which is way more engaging, like Fiverr says itself on the right side here. So I'll prefer you, of course, you can go for a video if you have one, if you have enough time for that. Otherwise, it's okay. An image is perfectly okay. And then you have your document, which is basically any work you have done before with any other clients on the same service. So maybe if I had edited some photos from before, you could have a before and after look out of that, and you can add that onto the documents. You can add up to two. After you have done that, just go ahead and accept terms of services and press save and continue. So the last step, which is basically just clicking publish your gig, and then you will have your gig published. So go ahead and click publish gig, and boom, there you go. Your gig is open for business and it has been successfully active and has been published onto Fiverr. Well, that's it for this video. I hope this video helps you guys out, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace out.